But hello, Lucy.
Hi.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing this.
Sure.
So basically, obviously, you're doing the course with us at the moment. So I would just like to, ask you, first of all, what are your reasons for doing the course?
I have been self-employed before, some time ago now, and for one reason or another stopped being self-employed about sort of 10 years ago because I was just doing other things that it wasn't relevant at that time. And what I do, I do lots of things, but this particular thing, this particular reason for re-signing up and rejigging myself and getting myself out into the market as self-employed is all around communication skills, which I used to co-run a small consultancy doing that. But now I do it now, but I do it through an agency, and knowing how much commission they take and knowing, and I'm really limited because I can only apply for jobs that come through them, and they are a good agency. They're in London, etc. But I'm kind of limited, really, and so there's no reason why I should only be doing it through them. So I wanted to start doing it again myself and just have much more autonomy, earn more from it. Potentially anyway, and just much more freedom to do what I always used to do, rather than funneling it down the agency into a sort of box, so that was basically the start of it.
Okay. And so having worked with us so far, what has your experience been like?
Oh, great. Really, really friendly, really supportive. I mean, more support than I thought. Phil on the, the online sessions that we've had with the small group of, I think, 6 of us, I think something like that. Anyway, that's a really sort of good, friendly launch off start, and it just sort of throws out all the issues, the subject matter out there onto the table, and he goes through it. With the manual at your side, but it's not based on looking at the manual, to be honest. You can just refer to that afterwards. But he's really clear, really accessible, really simple, the way he just kind of talks about it, and there's lots of interaction with the women and him and each other, and so it's really non-threatening for people. I mean, there are all sorts of people in the group doing all sorts of different things, it's not confined to one kind of subject matter or one type of business. Everyone very friendly, and then not only Phil but yourself, and then Daniel Silsbury, who I had a great chat with on the phone, albeit only 15 minutes because I was on a train, but I'm going to speak to her again at the end of the month. But she just kind of clarified in my head what I knew that I had to do, but sort of put it in bullet points, if you see what I mean, and then sent me an email. Asked her to send me an email just laying it out. So that was really helpful. And then also Emily, Emily called as well, and I was like, oh my goodness, another person I can interact with if I need to. But anyway, she just called to kind of touch base. So everyone's been really efficient, really friendly, really enthusiastic, really easy to deal with. So it's been great. It's been really good. I mean, surpassed my expectations, to be honest.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
So on that question, on that point, have you got more out of it than what you thought, or have you got out of it what you needed?
I've certainly got out of it what I needed. But in terms of the company yourselves, I've been surprised at the sort of length of the interaction. In other words, it's not just Phil and the Zoom sessions, boom, and that's it, and then kind of phone us if you need our help kind of thing. It's a longer term thing than that. Or it's not. It just depends on what each person needs. And also you don't feel kind of, I think some people, certainly some of the other women on the course, I think, were worried that too much was expected of them in too short a period of time. And for some people that's really stressful, and that stops people engaging. But that hasn't been the case at all. It's kind of seems to be that it could go, that it's at your own pace, effectively. It's at your own pace, and it's what each person needs. There's no one size fits all thing going on at all, which is great. Particularly you know, women of any age, but women of an older age, and with the constraints of COVID and with, you know, life stuff and God knows what the people have going on, all sorts of difficulties, you know, it can be really hard to have the confidence to just go, oh, this is me, and someone's going to listen to me, and someone's going to say, of course you can do that, you know, and we'll sort of guide you through it for as long a period of time as it takes to make that happen, you know. So that's been great, particularly for the other people who hadn't been self-employed at all. I was the only person who had been, I think I may be wrong, but I think I was, and I'm already doing what I will be doing anyway. So for me, but not so relevant, but for looking at the other women and the other way, the way that they reacted in the group, I think they really felt sort of calmed by it and enthused by it and encouraged by it and supported by it. So, which is great, really good. Really nice to see that.
Yeah. So would you recommend it to anybody else?
Totally, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was very lucky. I just, you know, I found an ad on Facebook for, you know, a poster or whatever it was on Facebook, and I, having done quite a few sort of training sessions of different ways during lockdown, online training sessions, which were just mostly awful, really, and one-offs, and basically just trying to kind of get people to pay for stuff, actually giving one free thing and then getting people to pay for something, you know, and really poor and not great. I mean, this is nothing like that at all. This is nothing like that. So I absolutely would definitely recommend it. I mean, I hope that you carry on to just keep on doing it, because there's so much, and for men as well. I think that's a really important. I mean, I think, yes, there's a lot of talk about young people, and that's completely valid and absolutely right in the present circumstances, but also older people have really, well, that was a kind of hidden, it was a hidden issue anyway, I think, but this is just, as COVID has just, I think, thrown it right up, and not many people are talking about it. Or seemingly maybe a little bit more now post-COVID, but yeah, it's really important to carry on with it, definitely. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, Lucie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, okay. And no doubt we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Helen. Bye. Bye.